Welcome to US Columbus News Channel. Large-scale operations have been launched on the Eastern Front. Ukrainian army has increased its critical advance on the Svatov-Kreminna line. Territories are being reclaimed one by one. Russian troops have become unable to hold on to the front. Nearly 700 Russian soldiers were neutralized during the day. Explosion sounds echoed from Russian military equipment in the regions. A group of Russian soldiers were taken prisoner as a result of the operation carried out in the liberated area. Recaptured region is a strategically important region located between the Luhansk and Kharkiv fronts. Russian soldiers are slowly losing their dominance in the railway network they provide logistics flow. Russian soldiers on the Eastern Front will not have enough equipment. Ukrainian Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov made important statements about Russia's latest situation in the war. President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky made statements about air defense. Critical support for infrastructures from countries continues to increase. All Russia's offensive efforts have begun to fail. Especially in recent days, critical operations and strategic moves on the Eastern Front have been increasing. Ukrainian army succeeds in gaining dominance in strategically important regions thanks to the operations it advances on the fronts. As it is known, as the dominance increases, the areas deployed also increase. This significantly increases the operational power. Moreover, the operations launched in the eastern Donbass have started to progress in favor of Ukraine day by day. This time, remarkable events took place on the Luhansk front. According to the breaking news, the Novoselivsky region on this front was retaken by the Ukrainian armed forces. Now the dominance of the region has passed to Ukraine. This region has a critical importance due to its location and being connected to Svatov. This region, which has the feature of being a key region, is also located on the border of the Kharkiv front. It is also known that the Svatov line has a logistical and military importance for both armies. Operations launched on this line in recent days are now beginning to reach the goal on behalf of Ukraine. According to reports, this Novoselivsky area in Luhansk was raided by the assault group of the unit with the support of the artillery and heavy equipment of the 92nd Mechanized Brigade against the Russian army. As a result of this operation, Russian soldiers were expelled from the area and lost many of their military equipment. Moreover, it was reported that a group of Russian soldiers were taken prisoner. In a way, these soldiers, who were besieged, had to surrender their places to the Ukrainian army with serious defeats and losses. Moreover, rather than the fact that this region is located between two fronts, it also has another positional feature. This is because the Kuzumivka district, even the train station, is located in the immediate vicinity. It is known that Russia provides military logistics flow mostly by rail in its operations against Ukraine. It is known that railway junctions and points have been targeted at many points in the past, especially in recent days. We can say that Ukraine has started operations to break the military logistics network provided by the Russian army by rail. If these operations are successful and the Russian soldiers do not have sufficient military resources, the operational power will gradually weaken. This, in turn, will cause the Russian soldiers, who are increasingly having difficulty in attacking on the Eastern Front, to be insufficient in defense and inflict serious losses. In fact, as a result of these operations, it may even be necessary to withdraw from the front completely. It is also known that HIMARS missile operations were launched in many regions on this front. During the day, about 20 missile attacks were carried out on the Donbass front, and many Russian military points were also seriously damaged. Explosions were heard from the regions and it was reported that the smoke was rising. Russia could lose its dominance on the Eastern Front at any moment. As a result of such events, Russia suffers serious losses day by day. General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine announced the latest Russian casualties. Ukrainian forces destroyed 12 armored combat vehicles, 8 tanks, 6 artillery systems, 23 unmanned aerial vehicles, 58 cruise missiles, 8 vehicles and tankers of the Russian troops during the day. Ukraine also neutralized 690 Russian soldiers in just one day. These losses of Russia will cause a serious decrease in power in ground operations, a decrease in attack rates and an outbreak of defense inadequacies. Losing hundreds of soldiers every day, Russia is getting weaker day by day on the territory of Ukraine. It was also reported that Russia suffered the greatest losses at the Bakhmut and Lyman fronts. However, it does not seem logical that the Russian army is still trying to attack on this Bakhmut front. because it is seen that the Russian army, which has been operating in this region for months, has not been successful and has suffered serious losses by the Ukrainian army. Despite these losses, it is thought that their efforts to hold on to the region were carried out with the aim of gaining the favor of the Russian leader. However, due to these strategic mistakes, the losses have increased to serious proportions. It seems very difficult for Russia to make up for its losses in the war it started in Ukraine. Last statement on this issue was made by the Minister of Defense of Ukraine, Oleksiy Reznikov. Almost a year will pass in the war that Russia started in Ukraine in February, and Russia's losses have become very serious. It is known that Russia has lost more than 100,000 military forces on the territory of Ukraine. Russia's losses are not limited to these. Reznikov stated that NATO intelligence has acknowledged that Russia's losses of tanks, artillery, infantry fighting vehicles, armored personnel carriers and military power are at a very significant level. Reznikov emphasized that the Russian Federation needs at least 5 years for its regular troops to recover. Ukraine will have the support of Western countries in the war and when the war is over, but this is more difficult for Russia. Russia did not only lose military power and equipment in the war it started on the territory of Ukraine. He also lost trust and respect. It seems that Russia's job will be more difficult because of this situation. President of Ukraine Zelensky also made important statements about the Ukrainian air defense. Zelensky announced that Ukraine's air defense has not only been maintained during the year, but has been made stronger than ever before. Moreover, he stated that the Ukrainian air defense will become even stronger and more effective in the new year. At the same time, he stated with remarkable expressions that the Ukrainian air defense will become the strongest in Europe and this will be a guarantee of security for the entire continent. As it is known, Ukraine's air defense has become the most powerful and effective of all time with support from countries. This causes Russia to incur more expenses and difficulties. Because the Ukrainian air units successfully shoot down most of the missiles and unmanned aerial vehicles launched by the Russian forces, with various air defense systems from the countries. It was also reported that a meeting of the Chief of Staff of the Commander-in-Chief was held during the day. At the meeting, it was stated that the situations on the southern border, the strengthening of the air defense and the supply of weapons were discussed. Zelensky expressed his gratitude to his soldiers, declaring that the positions on the fronts were protected and progress was being made, albeit slowly. It is also known that energy infrastructures in Ukraine were damaged after Russia's attacks on infrastructures. But these attacks are wasted day by day. Because the support from countries is increasing day by day. With aid from Western countries, Ukraine allocated 5,000 generators in December. It has been reported that an additional 8,000 generators will be supplied in the coming days. It is also known that all kinds of military and financial support from other countries determine the fate of the war. For this, if Ukraine is to be successful in the course of the war, the support provided must be increased. Now, every step taken and every decision made is more important than the previous one and must be determined strategically. Otherwise, the mistake of one party may turn the other party into an advantage. This will take the course of the war to a whole new level. We'll see what happens in the next few days. We have reached the end of another video. You can support us by liking the video. You can easily follow new videos by subscribing. I wish you all a war-free day. See you.